Hey guys, welcome to another video from Historic Militaria. Today we're looking at a relatively late production Mauser small ring hammer, what's called a pre-war commercial gun, that actually went to von Legerke and Detmold, who were the exclusive US importers of the Mauser Broomhandle. As you can see, they actually had their name stamped on the side here. And that was actually done at the Mauser factory at the time the gun was made. So that was not added later. It's not like an import stamp that you would see on a modern firearm or anything like that. These were destined for von Legerke only, and then they'd be sent to various retailers across the United States or sold to private individuals. A lot of the VLD guns are actually in pretty good shape because they came to America. They obviously didn't go through World War I and World War II. They weren't used in any myriad number of the conflicts that happened that broomhandles were used in. So of all the variants, they're one of the variants that you can find in relatively good condition still. Certainly examples like this one, which is actually unfired, do exist. And this one is just a pretty nice example of one. You have that Mauser quality bluing from your earlier guns. And when I say this is a late production, I mean it's sort of a late import of these, because imports kind of really started trickling down certainly by 1914. But really seeing guns made after about 1910 that came into the United States that were marked with von Legerke is kind of unusual. A lot were earlier guns from the early 1900s, whereas this gun is probably around 1908 to 1909. So as you can see, you've got that really nice Mauser bluing. You've got your straw on the trigger, which is a form of heat treatment and was very common on guns of this period in general. You'll see Lugers like this, certainly, and a lot of other European firearms use that. It's just a very nice touch, and it also provided a fair amount of protection to the metal, although it does wear off pretty easily. You've got your really nice varnished grips that Mauser really spent some time on. The wood on these just always looks nice. It's just always a nice grain of commercial grade wood, whereas a lot of military contract guns later on, and even commercial guns, lost a lot of that grain that you see, and they just don't look as nice. They spent a lot of time smoothing out on the panels when they milled this out. Not a lot of machine marks that you'll see on later guns. This one is really standard in terms of the production. You've got your very standard front sight here and your standard Crown U proof mark right there. Your serial number is right there, since that's in the 83,000 serial number range. You've got your standard chamber marking, your short extractor with fire blue. The bolt is always left in the white on these. Actually, on pretty much all broom handles, it will be in the white. If you ever see a bolt that is not in the white, that is a huge sign that your gun has probably been refinished. Also, you've got the fire blue on your very optimistic tangent sight out to 1,000 yards. Your fire blue on your cursor, and again, part of the serial number repeated here. Your safety, which is actually, this one's in the safe position, and the gun is cocked, and always the safety is going to be fire blued as well. And there is your firing pin with a pretty nice bolt. Doesn't look like it's been hit very much. Maybe it's been dry fired a few times, but this one has got mirror bright rifling as well. Your standard Mauser markings here on the side, and as you can see, this gun in particular, they took a lot of time to get all the machine marks off of it. I mean, you can certainly see where this has been milled out, but they really took their time, and the bluing is just pretty phenomenal on these guns. Of all the Mauser time periods, I would say that the quality on these guns is some of the nicest that you're going to see, and really hasn't been surpassed, I don't think, in terms of semi-automatic pistols by almost any other company. These are just really, really beautiful guns, and it's really a pleasure to actually be able to see one like this up close in person. I kind of wish I could share that with you, but unfortunately, video is going to have to do it. And then, of course, you're going to have any number of random, strange markings and letters under here, and 99% of the time that's not going to mean anything. It's just factory control marks, nothing really special. You've got your magazine floor plate. This actually has some old storage grease still on it that has not been cleaned off. And your standard everything else with your lanyard ring that they love to always put on a broom handle. This one has an old collection tag number on it as well. And just thought I would show you a very interesting example of a later imported VLD gun. Not too many after the serial number range seem to have come in. Like I said, the popularity of the Mauser in terms of a commercial firearm was kind of waning. There were options which were frankly more user-friendly than the broom handle. And when you're getting into around 1908, 1909, you're starting to get, Colt is coming out with some pretty nice stuff. Browning, all kinds of people had guns, which I think in terms of a personal defense or just a gun that you would want on the US commercial market is going to be cheaper and easier to get ammunition and just sort of a more accessible gun, because these are not particularly accessible. One last thing I will show you is just how the safety on these works. So this one is in the safe position. To fire, you simply move that down and then your gun is going to be on fire. But to put it on safe, you actually, and this would be a two-handed operation, which I don't have, you would actually have to cock your hammer back and then apply your safety into the upward position with your other hand, and then you'd be good to go. So as it stands, this one is on fire and ready to go. This gun has already been cleared, so I'm going to carefully lower the hammer onto the firing pin. And then you can apply the safety one-handed when the gun is uncocked. As you can see, it is resting on the firing pin right now. When it is in safe, it does move that hammer back just a little bit. So if you enjoy seeing broom handle videos or other firearm videos or helmets or ordnance, really anything kind of interesting, like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you've got questions, comments, anything at all. I do read them, and thank you for watching.